working on the structure of the program. This is how we want it to look, with a menu section, with several entry fields, and with buttons to execute various functions. We will do everything in Python. First, we start Python IDLE. Then click on File, New File. You can use a different IDE if you want to. Because we want the program to be user interactive, we want it to have a graphical user interface. Tkinter is Python's standard GUI package. You can read more about the library on its official page. You need to make sure that you have Tkinter on your PC. You can check by trying to import it. Write import Tkinter. If it gives you an error, then it means that you do not have the library and you have to install it. You can install it with pip install tkinter in command prompt. Then we write from tkinter import star. This means that we want to import everything from the tkinter library. We save the file for the first time. Save it as makeerrorshape.py. If you run the program now by pressing F5, you shouldn't get an error. Whenever you get an error, try to copy the content and paste it into a search engine like Google to see what people say about the error on different forums. At this point, the only error that you can have is if you do not have Tkinter installed. I will not show you how to install a library in this series. You can find plenty examples on YouTube. What can we do with Tkinter? We can create a pop-up window to appear after we run the program executable to look like a software. To be able to access any file on the computer, you need to import the OS library. So write import OS. To be able to read, write, and analyze CSV files, we need to also have the CSV module. So write import CSV. As we go along the project, we will add further libraries. We will be using functions in this program. To optimize the workflow, it is best to use classes. However, for this tutorial, we will use mostly functions. Let's make a mental image of what we need to do, what steps we need to follow. First, we need a function to accept CSV files. This function will open the CSV file. So write def, which is short for define, open underscore CSV underscore file. Enter pass for now, since we do not write anything. In this function, we will write the code that checks whether the file type is accepted. It will try to write the file path in a special field. It will give a message saying the file can be opened or give an error message otherwise. Then we need a function to save the new shapefile that we create. Write def save underscore shp. This function creates the file path based on output folder and shapefile name, then saves the file. The user can enter the shapefile name. We also need a cancel function. This will erase all of the information from the tool if the user wants to have a blank screen and start over from the beginning. Also define a program function that will execute all the operations. I'm not saying that this is the best, most optimized or correct way. However, as a beginner, this will make the program work. We also add two classes that represent the menu window options. So write class manual box and pass an object to the class. Inside of the class, we define the init function. We do the same for the about screen class. Before working on the functional part of the program, we create the window. We will use the Tkinter module for the design. To be able to view a window pop-up, we need to initialize the class tk. So please write rt equals tk class. We can give the program a title by writing rt.title and make error shape in quotes. We can also give it a window size by writing rt.geometry, then the size in parentheses. If you run the program now, a pop-up window will appear with the written size. You can play around with the values to get the desired window size. Let's create the menu section first. We define a string variable called doc_file that will get the short path of the documentation file. It is highly recommended to write a documentation file. Also define a name that will appear in the About section to define the button that allows the user to view the documentation. I called it manual_title. We do the same for the About file, About title, and License file. Place all of these variables above the classes. This is all for this video. Join me in the next one to progress with the creation of our standalone software.